Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to some insane Toronto Raptors breaking news. We have a massive Toronto Raptors news update that has me completely off my head right now, and that you saw it in the title, you've seen it in the thumbnail, and I just gotta dive straight into it because I'm mad at this report that's come out, and apparently the Toronto Raptors and Indiana Pacers have discussed a Myles Turner for OG Anunoby trade. Now, listeners to this podcast know how much of an OG Anunoby fan I am, and we've seen the reports now over the past week or so, rumblings that the Raptors were quote-unquote the dark horses to attain Myles Turner at the trade deadline. I was hesitant to dive into it super quick, as a few weeks ago, a month ago or so, when Myles Turner initially wanted out of Indiana, we were connected to him back then, and then we got these reports coming back now. But this bombshell that dropped on back-to-back reports from multiple reporters has me force my hand to address this madness, because they have the audacity to throw in the name of OG Anunoby in a potential Myles Turner trade. And my initial reaction, my initial thoughts, yes, we are loaded on the wings, or at least in terms of our starters, right? We just drafted Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr.'s out there on the wing, right? We have Pascal Siakam that can sort of play that position. Right, we have a lot of guys that can sort of fulfill those roles, and maybe Boucher's more of a power forward, and Precious. I get the positional thing, right? We have a hole at the center. We have a couple guys that can play small forward, right? Perfect deal in a perfect world, but no, this would be horrific for the Toronto Raptors. This would be a trash move, and there would have to be extra assets added on top to this deal coming from the Indiana Pacers for me to even contemplate how Masai Ujiri is even discussing this, right? If I was the GM of the Toronto Raptors and they came to me with just a Myles Turner for OG Anunoby straight up package, I would immediately say no, block their number, throw out the phone, disconnect my phone line, because this is madness. And I know people are very high on Myles Turner, and defensively, well, at least in terms of shot blocking, Myles Turner is good. This is not me out here sort of slandering on a hate piece on Myles Turner. If we could get him, when I saw the rumblings that we could potentially trade for him, I get excited. I think he'd be a great fit here with the Toronto Raptors. And if you look at his stats, he's a good player. By no means is he bad. 13 points per game, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks per game, which is very encouraging. 34% from the three-point line, and playing in a situation where He's out of position. There's only really one way to put it. He's out of position with this Indiana Pacers team, so he could definitely be a good player. That's my love for Myles Turner. We should try to get him. We should try to bring him in, throw in a pick or something. But he's a guy that's a tremendous shot blocker, but completely average in everything else. He's not super fleet of foot. You throw him in the pick and roll, you have a similar situation to the JV scenarios. Yes, if he plays drop side coverage, he's great, but obviously in the playoffs and late in games, they struggle to run those coverages, especially against good teams, so that's a factor that you have to take into account. He's very inconsistent. He has nights where he's tremendous, and then he has nights where where he scores 4 points and 3 rebounds. He's all over the pace. I followed the Pacers for a pretty close time. I look closely on Pacers Reddit. If people don't know, I was a big Danny Granger fan, so the Pacers are my second favorite team for a long time. I try to keep pace, and he's good, but not great. He's not transcendental, and maybe he'd be elevated on this Toronto Raptors squad and all that sort of stuff, right? But he's a good player that I'd give a first-round pick for. I'd give assets. Apparently, the Raptors are rumored to be throwing Boucher out into the wild, seeing what they could get for him. And Boucher's been playing lately. If we could add him to a package, a young guy, cool. But OG Anunoby, no way. No way. Unless we're getting Karis LeVert and 3 first-round picks back, then I'd maybe think about it, because you get a scorer back and all that sort of stuff. But again, Karis LeVert's injury-prone. OG Anunoby, with his level of defense, his switchability, his OG, you look at him, I'm going to throw his gifts back on the board and get his stats up there on the screen, because 19 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, steal and a half, right? Doesn't have crazy blocks, but 36% from the three-point line, 44% from the field, but he's a guy that this season we're seeing able to create his own shot a little bit. And that's something the Toronto Raptors desperately need. He switches on all of these possessions. Right now, OG Anunoby will probably be classified, in my opinion, as the best role player in the NBA because he still hasn't taken that leap in terms of, say him and Draymond Green maybe comparison. But he hasn't taken that leap in the sense where he's looking for a shot every possession. He has that confidence to just steal the ball away from Siakam, take more shots and stuff. But that's kind of what we need on this team. That's kind of what we need on this roster. A guy that can complement other stars, be in the mix, be a glue player, and then as Scotty Barnes elevates, as Siakam continues to take his shots, Fred VanVleet playing at an all-star level, a guy that can come in and score a lot of points. 19 points per game for OG Anunoby, right? A guy that can get you buckets, but does it within the flow of the offense? Does it reliably night in, night out? That's the perfect player you can have on this roster, and we have him signed long-term, $18 million per year for the next 3 seasons, 4 seasons, however long, but 3 to 4 years. He just signed his extension last year, right? It would make no sense to trade him for a center that is an elite shot blocker, but is otherwise average. It would make absolutely zero sense. I know we need a center, and I know people hate it when I get on the precious propaganda or whatever's happening there. I'll throw it up on the screen, and I get it. We should trade for a center, but why throw OG Anunoby? Why hang him out to dry? Get someone that's just 7 foot. We don't even close games with our center. We saw the last playoff series. We went with that small ball unit in the playoffs, and that's usually what ends up working when it comes down the stretch. However, through the grind of a regular season, you do need to score, but there's so many big men out there, right, that are capable to just come in and do what the Toronto Raptors need, because we do have fives that can be sort of mobile bigs that fit the modern NBA style. Just getting one dude that can be a block down there in specific matchups if we're struggling, we're getting bullied inside, throw him in there, switch up the lineups, and then space the floor again and run what the Toronto Raptors have been doing. That makes a lot of sense. But giving up an integral piece to this team that's only 23, 24 years old in OG Anunoby, who fits our timeline, right? It's not like, because it feels like OG Anunoby's been on this team forever. He's old as Siakam and Fred. No, he's more in the age range of Gary Trent Jr. and those guys in the world. Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr. and all that, right? That's more of OG Anunoby's timeline. Myles Turner's a little bit older. I don't know. The development, because I know people say development, Myles Turner in the Raptors system or in a Raptors team where he's playing actually center, not alongside a Sabonis and not playing in Indiana, right? He could be better. He could be better utilized and all those sorts of things. But the development of OG Anunoby, the progression that he has taken year in, year out, I know he hasn't taken that leap as the Kawhi Leonard of the world that we want to see, but 20 points per game for a role player, for a guy that's consistently usually one of our more efficient guys coming into the lane, coming into the lineups. I don't know. It's something wild. It's something wild. And now I alluded to and obviously I'm a Hobart, and everyone knows I'm a big OG Anunoby stan, and I'm going to be frustrated if anyone brings up OG Anunoby for Giannis, right? I'm going to be frustrated even at that scenario and that hypothetical. But that obviously that's a hyperbole, but what would, if because it's saying centered around Myles Turner, I can't see a world where on the open market, even with my rose-tinted glasses on, I can't see a world where they equate 1-for-1 in value. So, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure I'll get flamed in the comment section because people love Myles Turner. They love him, but he's not that mobile big. I'm not repeating what I said, but Karis LeVert would have to be in a deal. We throw in Dragic or something to make the money work, and then I'd want two picks from the Indiana Pacers back. I know that's unrealistic because they're a team that's looking to bottom out, but at least one pick or something, because that's brutal. Maybe Karis and Myles Turner, because you keep that wing depth, and then you obviously get that center to fill that role. And I spoke highly of Myles Turner early on, but my goodness, I cannot see a world where this is happening. Clearly, I've frustrated. I'm trying to be rational, but you're not getting that out. I think this would be stupid. This would be insane for the Toronto Raptors to do, and the fact that they're discussing it is worrying me. It's worrying me because we're connected to a lot of teams. I know it's trade season. It's rumor time. It's the time when everyone gets excited about stuff and people are pushing narratives and stuff that we got to react to. And we love reacting to it because it's fun hypotheticals. But this one would kill me. This one would I know the Norman Powell deal, and maybe it'd be right, and maybe it would end up working out, and maybe I'm wrong, as I was frustrated initially with the Norman Powell for Gary Trent Jr. Then we saw him play, and we're like, okay, this is Masai Ujiri. He's playing 8D chess compared to the rest of us, but this one would be tough. This one would be tough. That's the only way I can describe it. But let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on this situation with OG Anunoby? Myles Turner, would you want it to happen? I know a lot of people want Myles Turner in. What would the Pacers have to add to it? Would we have to add something? Who really knows? Let me know in the comment section below. You're the best to make it this far. Check out the Instagram, the TikTok, the Twitter, all that cool stuff. TikTok has been popping. Hope you guys like the new format. Anyways, and also OG Anunoby played for the University of Indiana. I just saw his GIF pop up. So, Indiana fans probably think they can finesse this, but no way. No way, Jose. Anyways, I'm signing off. You guys are the best. Cheers.